Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
What's up, guys? This is Tatsumi. I'm coming to you with a brand new discussion video that wasn't really precedented because something major happened today. If you haven't been looking at YouTube or you haven't been checking Konami's official website, for those of you who want to know this, there's a new adjusted ban list. Now, this ban list is essentially an emergency ban list, but I'll explain what the adjusting means, really, because Konami's using a lot of, I would say political language just so they can avoid some things, but let's go over exactly what they did first, just so you guys know what's going on. So, the first thing that they say that they did on their website is that they made an adjustment to the Forbidden and Limited cards list, plus an errata. Now, first, for anything, before going into this, I want to make it clear that Konami is not necessarily banning these cards from everything. They're just banning them from their major tournaments, which is very essential to the competitive game. And those cards that they're banning, first off, are Plush Fire, which is everybody's kind of been wanting in a way, except for the Pepe players. Damage Juggler is forbidden. And Ptolemaeus is forbidden, so it doesn't become as easy to bring out Cyber Dragon Infinity. They're also limiting Skullcrobat Joker, Monkey Board, and Luster Pendulum the Draco Slayer. And finally, the errata is Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer. And the older version was, they're actually making it a little bit better. If it was special summon, this is regular effect, not its pendulum effect. You can target up to 2 cards you control, destroy them, and if you do, add Performapal monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, except Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer, equals the number of monsters destroyed. That is the original effect. The revised edition, they actually made it a little bit better, is that you get to add Performapal monsters equal to the number of cards destroyed, rather than monsters. So you can actually destroy your opponent's scales, and then you get to still get 2 monsters. So, that actually made the card better, but in general, the Performapal deck took a huge hit from this card. So, from this card getting, from everything else getting errated. So, what do I think about this? Plush Fire, kind of happy that's forbidden. Damage Juggler, kind of happy that's forbidden, just so I don't have to deal with it. Personally, from a player's point of view, Ptolemaeus. This will definitely... Ptolemaeus is actually getting banned. Is going to drastically affect the secondary market. And the reason why is because it's going to make Cyber Dragon Infinity and Cyber Dragon Nova go way down in price. Only a couple of decks are actually going to be able to make those cards, primarily machine decks. The ones that come to my mind right now are Cyber Dragons themselves and Dynamis. There's probably a ton more that I'm not thinking of at the moment. But those two in general are really the only decks that can really utilize those pair consistently, and you're probably going to see Cyber Dragon Infinity and Nova go way down in price. Probably one of the faster price drops in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Luster Pendulum, already went over that. Monkey Board, I'm a little bit surprised that they limited. And the reason why is because I don't believe it's actually limited in the OCG. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's necessarily completely broken outside of Performapals. You do need to run it if you're going to be running Performapals. But the fact that they limited Skullcrobat Joker and it only gets its effect off of being normal summoned, I don't think that it was necessary to limit both of them. I think limiting Skullcrobat Joker was enough, or limiting Monkey Board was enough. Not necessarily them at the same time. Then going on to Pendulum Sorcerer errata, I don't know how this is actually going to affect it. Obviously, Performapal's performance just took a huge hit with this list, and the, Pendulum Sorcerer becoming better was kind of they're here's the trade-off here. You can't use these in all these tournaments, but you can get a better card. I don't know if that's gonna hurt it, or if everything else, if it's going to be enough to really affect the price in a positive way. So, Pendulum Sorcerer, I don't know if that was necessary to keep it from being keep it from going down. Finally, I wanted to discuss why Konami called it an adjusted list rather than an emergency ban list. And the reason why is because they just came out with a lot of these cards. A lot of these cards are rather new. Plush Fire is new. Juggler's been around a while, whatever. Infinity is new, and that affected Ptolemaeus' thing, so that's why. Joker is relatively new. Monkey Board is brand new, obviously. Draco Slayer is relatively new, and they still have product that is selling from that. So, and of course, Performance Pendulum Sorcerer is also new, and they're still having a product that's selling with that, specifically Bosch and Core. They just came out with the Clash of Rebellions, their Super Edition, whatever they want to call it this time. But the reason why they're calling it adjusted list is because they're only banning it from the competitive game. They're not actually banning it from in general. However, the majority of their player base is in the competitive game. So essentially, they are actually banning and limiting these cards without actually doing it. In a way, Konami is kind of pushing out of trying to make an actual decision. Like, oh no, we're not actually banning it, but they are. For all intents and purposes, these cards are banned and limited. If they were going to make an emergency ban list, they should have just flat out said, okay, yes, these cards are banned. And they're like, oh yeah, you can use them in locals, but no one's going to use these cards in locals because it's not really a true test of what they can use in the competitive game. Because locals are not the best representation of what YCS's regionals, etc. are going to be. They're closer to regionals, but even then it's like whatever. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as always guys, have a nice day.